Basketball followers in Nigeria were given raw entertainment at the indoor sports hall of the National Stadium during the DSTV Premier Basketball League Final 8 playoffs. The players put up their best performance for the fans in the 7-day event aimed at producing the overall champion.
The tournament has been exceptionally well because officiating has been very balanced. The teams have, responded to the pressure, and today we have the two best teams playing the final.
It was a dramatic final game that saw Kano Pillars cancelling a 15-point deficit to beat rivals Mark Mentors by a point to retain the title. Both teams from the Savannah Conference will represent Nigeria at the FIBA Africa Club Championship.
We might just need to work on our shots. We need to work on our screens. That attitude of confidence and all this, we need to change it and make them work extra and get some stamina.
To work on our weaknesses from these playoffs and try to represent the country in the qualifiers, then the proper in Cote d'Ivoire.
Lovers of the slam and dunk game commented on the progress made so far.
Between 7 and 10, 10 and 15, introduce the game to them and let them know how fun it is to play the game.
The league is getting better and the players are really up there, I can say, like, I've seen, most of the players, like somebody texts me like, oh, this guy can be in the NBA, which is true, because the players are really getting better.
I say that we're investing, I don't mean necessarily we're putting money somewhere, but we're putting energy and effort in trying to drive the teams to do what is needful, prepare very well for this league, and then, represent their clubs well, and then when they qualify to represent Nigeria, do well at the Continental.
Basketball in Nigeria is still trying to catch up with international standards, but with the progress being achieved in this league, hopefully someday it will translate to dominance on the global scene.
All right, so that's the reports. Although we had the president of the MBBF, Tijani Omar. We had former Nigerian international, Awojobi. Ezekiel Buaja, Sani Ahmed, coach of Kano Pillars,
coach for
Mark Mentors, all speaking about the game, the final 8, and the future of the game in Nigeria.
The future of the game, the plan for the champions, the competition for the clubs that win, the African clubs.
That they will be representing Nigeria, the top 2 teams.
Some are saying 3 teams will be representing us, but the president kept insisting on 2, so I guess at the end of the day it's going to be 2.
And that will be Kano Pillars, the winners.
Mark Mentors.
And Mark Mentors.
And one interesting thing about both sides is that, like the president said, and a lot of people agree with him, it was a befitting final. Those 2 teams during the regular season was one apiece. And what we saw in the final showed that it was no fluke. And it was good this time. The first time we were having 2 teams from that conference getting into the final, and it was close. And at some point, I was looking at you. I was looking at a lot of people in the indoor sports. We didn't really know what happened, and we knew the guys from Mark Mentors, would want clarification, would want an explanation, because I think it was
the final moment.
I think it was at this stage.
Those Mark Mentors felt that they had those 2 points, but the referee overruled.
Yes, he did, and
Pillars were celebrating because even the coach was still strong.
Yes, that's the point. Even at this point, a lot of them were not so sure. You could see some Mark Mentors guys on the court, some still walking around, looking around for some explanation. But later, the information I got was that they went and looked at the videos. To understand what really happened, and that throw was taken
after the time was up.
So, because usually in basketball, if you make that throw before the buzzer,
they will allow the ball to land before the buzzer.
That was what we were expecting. But we all knew when Kano Pillars started mounting that pressure, something was going to give. At 31 seconds to go, some were saying it was over, and those who really understood the game said 31 seconds is very long.
Don't write Pillars off.
And they just came and just took that point when they needed. Although I feel for Mark Mentors, they should have killed off the game.
They led from the beginning of the game up till the last
15-point lead.
2 seconds of the match.
I thought we were going to see a new champion, but Mark Mentor showed their heads up high. They are a team that is well run. Maybe, in my opinion, maybe second to the Down Warriors in terms of how well they are being run as a club.
Take us through the individual awards. I mean, who got what at the end of the day?
Yeah, Abubakar Usman, Kano Pillars, I mean, you would expect that as the most valuable player in the competition. He is also the highest goal scorer for the competition. Abdullah Yahya from Mark Mentor's highest rebounders. Those are the individual awards. For the prize money, I mean, it's no news anymore. The winner got 1 million naira. Second and third, first runner-up and second runner-up got 750 and 500,000 respectively. And what's interesting is that first and second will represent Nigeria on the continent. You had Mark Mentor's assistant coach talking about it, what's going to happen in Côte d'Ivoire. That's where the club championship will take place. And these are the results. Dodan Warriors, the one we didn't really get to talk about.
Third place.
In overtime. Yes, in overtime. Was a very, very close encounter. And Dodan Warriors, guys were really, the one we talked about earlier, guys were really celebrating. Came in suits. I mean, really, NBA style, really paraded all their players, took snapshots. I mean, they played around. It showed us how a basketball team should be run. And probably the same problems everywhere. Some government teams, some teams not really well run. And most valuable player, the guy that scored most points, and the highest rebounders, the one we talked about. And even before we got to this stage, you can't argue that these were the two best teams. Probably maybe guys from the Down Warriors would have one or two things to say about that. And they complain about officiating. But even the MBBF president admitted that some referees are being questioned right now, being investigated. So probably that will put pay to issues of bias on the courts.
Okay, thank you so much, Emi, for that update around it. Congratulations, Kano Pillars, champions again of basketball in Nigeria, just like their football team have also been champions back-to-back of the Globe Premier League. And I think it's time for us to do some research into how Kano Pillars and the Kano State government keep churning out champions for basketball and football in Nigeria. Well, guys, I must thank you for your time. Well, it's Yemi that's leaving us. Yemi, thank you for your time on the show.
Always a pleasure.
We'll go on a quick break now. Sisi will join us. Sisi will be joining us for a few minutes. We'll take a look at the women's African Women Championship, the draws held over the weekend, and I'll also give you an update around the 2015 Africa Cup of Nations as well on Sports Tonight. Join us again.